So my name's Teresa Gill. Everyone calls me Terry. I live in Leeds, in Yorkshire, in England. I'm married, and I live here with my husband and my son. But I've got 3 children and 7 grandchildren. I had a gastric sleeve with Sanamentum in Istanbul, but I was 17 stone. I was really struggling. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. I was on 2 inhalers. I was on blood pressure medication. Didn't do anything because didn't really feel like I had a life. The weight was just holding me back in everything I wanted to do. I've always struggled with my weight, and before this I was on a diet. I worked out for about 30 years. I was on one diet or another, one diet fad or another. I've done the cabbage diet, I've done everything, and I'd lose weight, but then I put it back on again and some more. And I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be able to play with my grandchildren, and I couldn't sit on the floor and play with them because I couldn't get back up. I tried every single diet going. Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Cambridge, keto, you name it, I did it. We did at least 6 months research into different companies, and the reason that I chose Sanamentum was because they were open and honest with questions that I asked. Any question that I asked was answered quite quickly as well. It's having one person that you can contact if you've got a question. After the initial inquiry that I made, I was put in contact with just one person, and that made it so much easier, just speaking to that one person. On the morning of my operation, my surgeon came in and we had a really long conversation. Beforehand, he explained everything to me, told me everything that was going to happen, and he just had such a calm presence about him that took all my nerves away. I didn't have any nerves at all. And I remember being in theatre, and I actually remember Gunga Gull, the surgeon, holding my hand while I went under the anaesthetic. I remember that. But I just remember just being so surprised that I just didn't feel any pain at all. I actually had a look to make sure I did have stitches, like I'd had actually something done, because I just expected to be in pain and I wasn't. On the morning I was released from hospital, and we were picked up and took back to the hotel, and I felt well enough that I then went for another walk around Istanbul for the rest of the day. We was walking around, we found a big shopping centre, went walking around the shopping centre, and I just felt so well. Before I left Istanbul, my surgeon had given me instructions of what to do when I got home. So I spent 2 weeks on a liquid diet, which went really well. I didn't feel hungry. I came home. So I flew back on the Saturday, and I actually went back to work on the Wednesday. So I was on the liquid diet for about 10 days. I stayed on the liquid diet, and then I started introducing soft food. So things like mashed potato, tuna. I could eat tuna and cheese, and then I just gradually, slowly introduced different foods as I went along. And then I think when I got to week 4, I was eating just normal food, but just obviously much smaller amounts. And I just felt really well. I had no side effects at all after the surgery, none at all. The only thing I can say is that I lost my sweet tooth, which was probably a good thing. But before my surgery I had a real sweet tooth, and afterwards I don't know. And then I had calls from the dietitian, I had calls from the coordinator, all via WhatsApp. I could message WhatsApp if I had any problems, which I didn't, thankfully, and then they would message me every week to ask how things were going on. And then the dietitian that also messaged me that would ask I would send a rough thing of what I'd eat, what I was actually eating at that time in my journey, and the aftercare was just fantastic. One of the other reasons that I chose Sanamentum was them knowing that they had a London office, and I did think if anything does go wrong, then it's London, it's not Turkey. So I joined the Sanamentum Facebook group. I had a message from one of the coordinators asking me if I was interested in joining the group, and if I would put my experience on there. So I joined the group, and I did. I wrote put my and I do regularly post photos, and I'll answer questions, because a lot of people put, if they're interested in going with Sanamentum, they've put questions on, and I have answered them, telling them all about my journey. Before I had the surgery, I struggled walking up a flight of stairs. I got out of breath. I was on 2 inhalers. I was on 2 different lots of blood pressure medication. Since having my surgery, I am not on any medication at all now. The only thing I take are supplements like vitamins, which is normal. I can walk up a flight of stairs. I don't get out of breath. I now do an exercise class a week, which I never ever thought in a million years I would ever be able to do. I saw a work colleague a few weeks ago at an event, and we've not seen each other for like 6 months. And she looked at me and said, "I don't want to ask, but you're not ill, are you?" "No, I'm not ill." She went, "What on earth have you done? You look fabulous. You look really, really well." And that made me feel really good. So my initial goal going into having this surgery was, I never wanted to be thin. I've never been thin. I just wanted, I thought I wanted to lose like 5 stone. I would look to be a size 14. I wanted to be able to go in any shop and buy clothes. I didn't want to have to go online, because previous I was a size 24, and I've reached all those goals. I'm 4 pounds short of the 5 stone. I'm a size 14. I've actually lost a shoe size. I've gone down a shoe size, and I can just walk into any shop whatsoever and buy clothes. I do go through that. I still go to the left-hand side of the rail, and my husband has to say, "You're not there anymore. You're further down this way." It's been a lot psychologically. I go somewhere I've not been before, I still look for the biggest chair to sit in. But my mind's slowly catching up. I think your brain's a lot slower than your body, so my brain is slowly catching up with my body. I started walking near enough straight away after I had the operation. That was, my surgeon advised me to walk, and what I did was I walked every day, and then every week I extended it by 100 steps every week, so that I was walking a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. And I started exercise class only just before Christmas, but that was only due to, being honest, me psychologically thinking, I can't do that. And then the first time I went and I actually could, that was a massive boost. Anybody going for a gastric operation, my advice would be really do your research. That's it, really, really, really do your research and get yourself in. You've got to be in that right mindset. And I think the reason that I've found it such an easy journey, because it has been a journey, I call it my journey. It's been an easy journey for me because I did all my research beforehand. I was in the right mindset before I went. I did some work on me before I went and didn't expect the surgery to be the answer. It helps, but it's not the answer. You've still got to do work on yourself. You've still got to put the work in to get the losses that you want.